Bikes. They're a basic enough vehicle. A company called Leonard knew the truth of that. G.I. Joe's long-surviving poor man imitator have been peddling their bikes as pack-ins from the line's early days right up until now, giving their troops an immediate vehicle to operate. They're simply constructed, basic, and cost-effective. But they didn't have to be. Bikes at the 1:18 scale can be detailed, intricate, packed full of features, and boasting a mind-boggling attention to detail. And if you don't believe me, well then you've never been acquainted with the Silver Mirage.
Let's talk features. Rubber tires, big 3-spoke steel rims, turning front forks, juicy rear suspension, functioning easy grip handlebars, headlights, a molded fuel cap for use with Joe or Cobra pumps, a big clear front fairing proudly displaying how much death she's dealt, a body fairing that attaches to the rider, a kickstand that satisfyingly flicks out, a long rubber seat for your rider's comfort and whoever might be riding bitch. And then there's the sidecar. Big rubber piece accurately imitates a racing bucket seat. It's got its own lamp and the most useless piece of glass on any Joe vehicle. Yep, there it is.
Let's talk weapons. Like a big green dick of doom, a 10-round mortar launcher mounts to the sidecar, ready to hose down Cobra with bloops till they are nothing but a smouldering pile of, well, snake shit really. But don't miss, cause nothing kills you faster than hitting a pothole you just made at high speed.
I'm pretty sure this gun can blow the track off a HISS tank at 500 meters. But for ranges beyond that, the sidecar mounts a pair of missiles that boasts what the blueprints call auto-guidance. Sounds like a synonym for fire and forget, which means that the operator can lock them onto a target, fire, and then scram, or engage another target.
The blueprints say nothing about these puppies. The bike has a pair of rocket-propelled grenades, useful for killing pursuing vehicles. But who are we kidding? On the open road, is there really a ground vehicle that can match the Mirage's speed? It's a frickin' super bike. Needless to say, anything that can catch her is too dangerous to leave alive, and these are perfect for the task.
On the topic of speed, the manufacturer saw fit to give it a 1200 cubic centimeter 24 valve flat 6 engine, which is fucking enormous. And check, you can see each of the piston heads. Very cool. Since this is a military vehicle and therefore not subject to commercial speed limitations, I would argue this baby can achieve speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour, making her blisteringly fast. Even faster perhaps without the sidecar. On road conditions, the Silver Mirage is the quickest way to get a pair of anti-tank missiles and a mortar launcher to where they're needed most. Once the ammunition is expended, you can ditch the sidecar, have the operator hop onto the bike and burn rubber out of there.
Time for criticism. Even a fine vehicle like this is not exempt. The rear suspension is commonly broken, causing the wheel to sag and make contact with the body. Of course, it's a common problem. The suspension relies on the bending of a piece of 32-plus-year-old plastic. It's such a common malady, in fact, that mine suffered from it too. But a bent paperclip was all it took to rectify, and now she's stronger and springier than ever. The sidecar support struts are thin and commonly broken as well. The designers cut the fine line between aesthetic beauty and toughness. The attachment slots are discreet and don't present massive holes in your bike, but it leaves the struts a little too dainty to inspire much confidence. To be honest, I prefer to play with my bike alone, certainly for more aggressive riding. The sidecar is gravy for taking pictures and posing your Mirage around base. The road bike is the real prize, and I'd love it intensely even if that's all the Silver Mirage was. But I'm so glad that it comes with a sidecar anyway. Yes, yes, oh yay. One of the bike's key strengths can also be seen as its greatest weakness. It is made up from a staggering number of small parts. This makes putting one together a real delight, akin to building a snap-together model kit, provided you have all the parts. And there are a lot of them. Some are downright minuscule. Wheel hubs to attach to the wheels. Amazing! but a real bear to track down on the aftermarket. I really hit the jackpot with mine. Not only was it complete, but it was also sent to me unassembled and with the instructions, so I was able to recreate what it was like to receive this beauty back in 1985. But it must be said, there are a lot of parts, and while they are perfectly robust enough for a Joe collector, this vehicle will never be as robust as its predecessor, the much simpler Ram. And I'm not really mad about the wearable fairing. Its function? Questionable. If it's armor plate, it's really just adding weight and instability to the rider and bike because let's face it, this thing isn't meant to take hits. It also creates more wind resistance. I thought it might double as a cover for the sidecar seat when it's unoccupied, but it doesn't. Ditch it.
There is no Cobra counter to this vehicle. Nothing in Cobra's assortment of land-based vehicles could even hope to catch up to this bad boy. And that's kinda sad, because Cobra could use some decent motorbikes in its motor pool. The Dreadnoks deserve as much, and the stun doesn't count, as it looks like someone trying to pee with a boner. And as for the Thunder Machine, sure, it could probably outpace her in a flat-out straight-line drag race, with the jet engine throttled up, but do that anywhere other than the drag strip, and you'll be scraping Dreadnoks off the floor like a jelly donut that fell off the tray.
The Silver Mirage was a favoured mode of transportation in the Sunbow cartoon, which regularly placed Joes on the bike and in the sidecar. Not only was it a popular and currently available toy at the time, but I'm sure animating a squad of Joes on Silver Mirages meant that all the characters were visible within the frame. Unlike, say, if they were all flying around in separate jets or rumbling around in their own tanks. In the Marvel comic book, the Mirage debuted along with the Striker and Mauler MBT, and a slew of new Joe recruits in issue 44. Improvisations on a theme, one of my favorites actually. Lady J puts the bike through its paces, executing some daredevil maneuvers in a scrapyard while evading battle android troopers. It's a one-shot issue, an unapologetic toy commercial, but seeing what Lady J can coax out of her machine is a real thrill. Evel Knievel would be proud. She even sports a Stars and Stripes helmet. No coincidence there.
So, if you're not familiar with this toy, how do I best describe why I love it so? Well, I think it's important to say that motorcycles are not my favorite vehicle class. They're awkward to play with. They're hella fast, but you can't give them a push and watch them zoom off. Take your hands off them and they fall over. Hence the practical function of the sidecar. But in spite of the fiddly aspects, why does this vehicle shine so much? Well, maybe because it really does shine. Molded in that tasty silver plastic, it has a believable metallic appearance. Smooth and sleek, but possessing textured elements. Like this diamond pattern behind the front fairing, for instance. The sculptors could have just as easily left the plastic smooth. They chose not to. And that kind of decision elevates this from a toy into a classic. I love how the rider can tuck in convincingly, getting right down. I love how slender the body of the bike is, allowing for the rider's legs to really hug the chassis tightly, streamlining everything. I love the rubber tires for their realistic grip and toughness. I love the fix I did on the suspension. I love how deconstructing this baby gives rise to endless auto shop dio possibilities. I love the way it was presented to me by our contributor, Dan Szymanski. I love this toy.